everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Woman's Mindset TV show. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen. I am a professional speaker, a commercial real estate broker, and a business expert. One of my favorite things to do is get amazing women that I've known for quite some time through the internet online world and have them share their area of expertise. So today I am excited to share with you our guest, Haley Gray. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting to be here.
Haley, I'm going to read your bio. I know it's not going to do you justice, so we'll kind of fill them in along the way. I know how long we've been doing this, since we were 20, but I want you to share, only 5 years, but I want you to share a little bit more about you and everything that you're doing, and we'll jump into your topic today, which is the power of consistency, which I absolutely love. So Haley Lynn Gray founded Leadership Girl with the radical notion that women can harness their unique power and skills to become highly effective leaders. She is a best-selling author of Leadership Girl, Fearless Marketing, and a graduate of Duke's, is it Fuqua School, I love that, of business with an MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship and innovation. She has experience with starting up successful small business, growing them, selling them. You also run an amazing group on Facebook called Women's Entrepreneur Network. Did I say that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
I lost track of how many people you had this last time. What are you at?
76,000.
Amazing. And I've been a part of that group at least 5 years, 4 or 5 years. You've been around how many years now with that group?
We started it in April of 2015.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been around almost
a little while. Yeah.
I remember joining and us connecting. So welcome. I'm excited to dive in. So let's first get started with power of consistency. Tell us what that means.
So one of the things that we see in psychology is that we overestimate in the short term how much we can get done, and we underestimate what we can do in the long term. And I see this play out over and over and over again with people's businesses, because we think, oh, I can do this much this month, and they think they're going to cram all of this stuff into a month. And then they get really disappointed because whatever it was didn't quite happen according to plan. And they're like, oh, shucks, that didn't work. So I'm going to go change it all. I'm going to change my whole business up. I'm going to change all my messaging. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then they're off to the races again. And then they do it for another month. Oh, shucks, that didn't work. Or I'm going to buy this system and I'm going to spend $10,000 or $15,000 or $30,000 on this system that this person is teaching me. And that they do it for such a short period of time and then decide that it's not for them. It's not working.
Yeah. Right. They immediately go, not working. I love this topic. This is near and dear to my heart. Haley and I both run multiple businesses, have multiple degrees. And I love that about both of us because we're multifaceted. And typically people from the outside look at someone like you and say, how do you do it all? Mm-hmm. How do you focus? And it's crazy because typically serial entrepreneurs are the best people that focus because they know how to take their time. So as we're talking about the power of consistency, share with us having multiple businesses and multiple tasks that are not even related that you probably do in a day. What kind of tips, what kind of things can we give the ladies that are watching to recognize the importance of this power consistency and take us a little bit deeper to what that actually means?
Yeah. So it's really, when we talk about consistency, it's managing your time. Time is the one thing that we never get back. So being really savvy and really selective with how we're choosing to spend our time is going to make one of the biggest differences for consistency. And then using tools well to give us that appearance of consistency, even when we're not feeling like it. So one example that I give people is pre-scheduling your social media posts. But it's impossible to do that if you don't know what you're going to be doing in a month or 2 months or 3 months in your business, because you're going to change your mind 4 times. So if you're consistent, it becomes much easier to have a plan and follow it. And if you look at the big companies out there, your Coca-Cola, your IBMs, your whatever, they know what they're doing 2, 3 to 5 years out. Now, do they ever change their minds? Of course they do. It's not that you can't occasionally change your mind or react to the market situation around you, but not having a plan and not sticking with it consistently, in my opinion, is just a plan to fail.
Yes. So I'm one that schedules my posts a month in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that works.
Yep.
I love the month in advance. For me, I probably could go longer. It's a great example, but I like the month at a time. It's taken care of. I don't need to worry about it on a daily basis. And then I'm doing certain things a few times a week that are more in the moment, which a lot of us do anyways. So now share with people, with the time management piece and the consistency, and of course, the social media was just one example of many. How can someone watching change their bad habits? Because they really are bad habits. How can they restructure, step back from their business? Because it's so important to do that to be successful. When something's not working, don't keep doing it. How can we teach them to step back and reevaluate the consistency that they're doing and their time management?
So one of the reasons I see a lack of consistency from people is that they're not enjoying what they're doing, or they're not making enough money to justify the number of hours. So when you're not enjoying what you're doing, that's a problem.
Yes.
And if you're not able to justify the number of hours you're spending, or, it's feeling all off, this goes back to being really careful at the beginning to really think about what it is that you're trying to do, and making a commitment to yourself that you're going to stick with something for 12 to 18 months minimum. And if you can't visualize when you get started sticking with something 12 to 18 months, to me, that's a clear indicator that it's not going to work. And, if I can't stick with this initiative, if I can't stick with this book launch, if I can't stick with, this set of programs, if I can't stick with these things for 12 to 18 months, then maybe it's a sign that it's not the right thing. Maybe it's time to, change before we even launch it. And then, we look at things like, am I making enough money or whatever, or I'm desperate to make money. I see that desperation come through. I didn't make money fast enough. Y'all, don't leave your daytime jobs while you're trying something on the side. And if you are in that place where you're not going to eat because you didn't make sales, it's time to have something else that's bringing in money, so that you can focus consistently on what you're doing and not feel that like, oh, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to have a roof over my head, everything's going to blow up.
That's such an important piece of this. And that's something that women typically don't recognize. I know that you and I come from the business world from quite a young age. So we are aware that typical businesses say, give yourself at least 2 years to profit. Coming from the commercial real estate world, I don't sell businesses, but a lot of people buy and sell businesses. They say 2 years, guys, 2 years when you're starting a business.
Minimum. Yeah.
Minimum. And many of us, as myself, take every dollar from those first 2 years and reinvest it back in my business so I can do even better. And minimum is absolutely right. I completely agree with that statement. And one of the things I want those that are watching to understand is what Haley said is so important. I don't think that if you've got a savings account and you've got this money sitting aside and you're ready to make the leap, great. But what I've seen a lot of times, and I know you have, is I have 3 months of money on the side. I can quit my job.
Don't do it.
Hopefully you will make money, but why would you set yourself up to be so stressed out, to rush? And one of the things that Haley's talking about is what I call the squirrel thing, right? From that movie. Squirrel oh, I can make $50 here. I can make 300 here. I can do two. No, 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 no. She's talking power of consistency. Most of the people that have been successful, Tesla, they're pretty focused on what they're making, right, Haley? They
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
morning and make something new.
No, I've been working with a client for a couple of years, and she's working a full-time job.
Yeah.
And, that means she's working a full-time job that's demanding. It's stressful. It takes a lot of her energy, and she's got family stuff going on the side. Don't we all? And she just monetized her YouTube channel. And part of the reason that we're focusing on one thing and one thing only is, what widgets can you produce? What thing can you do that's going to make you money and continue to grow? It's like, peanut butter, little bit by little bit by little bit. Maybe it's not been sexy for the last year and a half while she's gotten to this point, but, it's also not producing widgets for hours at a lower pay rate than where she's been at. So being really smart and choosing carefully with how you're going to spend your time, and being really, really, really intentional so that you can be consistent. And
I want to stop you because you said something so important. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Being careful with your time, to me, is so powerful. And I just want you to go back to that for me with this. If anybody's watching right now, so you already said, love what you do first, because if you don't, you're wasting your time. Second of all, don't go quit your J job and think 3 months of income is going to be enough. Now, I hope it is. Not. I hope you all make enough money. But Haley and I have a lot of years experience, and 3 months.
It's not worth the stress.
Well, it wasn't enough. I mean, the logical thing is the stress and the time is just not enough. Because if you're doing business right, you're reinvesting your money back into the business, which means you don't have a lot of money to live off of. What can we share with the ladies on a daily basis, maybe 1 or 2 tips that they can walk away with right now, that they can restructure their days to be doing exactly what you're talking about, being consistent and being careful with their time?
Right. So definitely focusing on money-making activities.
Love it.
If what you're doing is not going to lead to a sale imminently, then don't do it. That means you don't need to be on every social media platform. It means you don't need to do all the things. It means you don't need to necessarily chase every single squirrel out there that you've heard is going to make you money, because it's not. I love one thing and one thing only. And it's so much easier. It's so much more boring. One thing only will do so much better.
And the thing that I want people to listen to, it's not that Haley and I only do one thing all day long. It's that everything that we do in each business, because we're a little bit different, is specifically focused. So I'll give an example. In commercial real estate, my one thing is sell or get people to sell, get people to buy, get people to lease, but it's all related to commercial real estate. So if you're a leadership expert, everything you should be doing should be related to leadership. And one of the things that we really love to teach our clients, Haley and I, is, okay, great. Are you going to put out a program? Are you going to do coaching? Are you going to pick one thing to start? When it's successful, great, go to another thing. But I think that we're just sharing that a lot of us, when we get started, we're doing 35 different things. We're putting out 35 different programs and 35 different methods, and we're confusing our audience. So step back, reevaluate your business and say, wait, what's that one thing? That's the keyword Haley used over and over. If you watch this interview over and you get it transcribed and you think, okay, which word did Haley use the most? The words were one thing. That was really it. But the power of consistency is directly related, because if you're doing one thing, that's consistency.
Yeah. And you're doing that one thing over and over and over again until the cows come home, until you're totally bored, until you're totally sick of it. You talk to, artists or authors, you talk to Bob Burg, and he talks about giver's gain, giver's gain, giver's gain over and over and over. And it's not like he talks about 5,000 different things. He talks about one thing. And that message is consistent. So that's what he's known for.
And that's what he's known for. I was just about to say the same thing. You said it right before me. What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? I love, love, love that. And for those women that are watching that are serial entrepreneurs and own multiple businesses, one of the things that's been said to me over the years is, don't you confuse your audience. And I said, no, and I'll tell you why. Because when you go to LinkedIn and you see that I own 4 different businesses, you only see the one that you are interested in. So an HR manager will only see, okay, she does corporate training. Someone that wants to sell their property only sees the commercial real estate. So I'm a little bit different in the sense, but it works because I'm focusing on specific things in my different businesses on my social media, and I'm not every single day doing something different. So that's something that you can do as a serial entrepreneur, is find that one thing in each business and then take the time each day. I schedule my days based on my businesses to focus only on that, and remember that consistency is the key. I love that you said that. Well, Haley, tell everybody a little bit more before we wrap up about your group, where they can find it, about you, some of the things that you offer, because I know you're multifaceted as well.
Right. So the group is Women's Entrepreneur Network. You can find us as Women's Entrepreneur Network on Facebook. Our website is women'sentrepreneurnetwork.org. And you can look in the menu and you can see all of our events, and you can see the calendar, and you can see all of our, summits and speaking events and TED Talks and all those type things that we do. And, learn and get active and, grow your business that way. My primary business is Intuitive Biz Solutions. It's spelled with a number 2 in it. So it's anything but intuitive for the spelling. And we are providing marketing solutions for small business owners. So we do done for you or do it yourself type services. So whether it's coaching or consulting, or we're actually getting in there and doing all the work, that's what we do.
You take a lot of the tech headache away too, by the way. So those of you that are watching, they're like, oh, I don't even know where to begin with my website. I don't even know where to begin with my social media. I don't even know where to begin with my branding. That kind of stuff Haley's team can help you with as well. So like I said, multifaceted, but it all works together and it all makes sense. So I appreciate having you today. It has been so much fun. I don't even know how many times we've interviewed each other at this point. I think we need to one day.
1 or 2.
At least, if not more than that. And the summits and all the different things we've done together. We've had a lot of fun over the years. The online world makes the world very small, because Haley and I have never met in person, but we've had numerous virtual teas and numerous interviews and catch-ups and sending clients back and forth. So ladies, take suit. Women supporting women, women empowering women, because that's something that both Haley and I are very passionate about. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you
for having me. This has been awesome.
Yes.
This is an honor.
It always goes way too fast.
Way too fast.
Way too fast. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. As co-founder of Everyday Woman, I'm so excited to have the Everyday Woman TV, where you are more than likely watching this on one of the 19 platforms or on the website. We love having women join us as hosts. So if you're interested in having your own show, please reach out. If you're interested in watching the multiple shows that we have, I think this morning we signed our 27th show host, and that'll probably be out of date by the time you watch this. So I appreciate you continuing to support me. It's crazy to think that my book, The Successful Woman's Mindset, was published over 3 years ago. I think it's 3.5 years ago. So thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.